Welcome to the Zombie Apocalypse Survival Guide, and your host for this amazing series is gonna be Bear.
Sir, we didn't get Bear.
What do you mean we didn't get Bear? We didn't get Bear Grylls? Did he not want to drink out of the toilet? What was the problem?
He said that he couldn't take a job when there wasn't donuts or a camera close by.
Who did we get?
Monkey 870.
Who's that? I never heard of him.
He's a YouTuber with hardly any subscribers.
Okay. Anyways, let's get on with surviving the apocalypse.
Hey there, everybody. This is going to be part of my Alpha 19 Beginners tutorial series. I'm going to take you through and show you the basics of the game. How to get the game started, how to survive getting through the first tutorial, how to get to your trader. All these things I'm going to show you in this video series. The basics of building, I'll add that on at the end once you understand the basics of the game. I do suggest anybody new to the game, start at the beginning of the playlist, watch your way through. I'm going to make these as short as I possibly can so that you can get through them quick and get into playing the game, because that's where all the fun's at, is getting in here and surviving the apocalypse and killing the zombies. It's a great game, and the building in this game is magnificent. There's very few games where you can destroy the whole world and you can build huge, magnificent bases and just have fun. So, alright. So this first video, we're going to go through your first menu that's going to pop up when you decide to start a new game. You're going to have three options. I have more. On the game world, I'm on Pre-Gen 3 is what I'm going to use for the tutorials. And I just called it TUT. But it'll be my tutorial series. But you'll have Pre-Gen 3, Pre-Gen 2, Pre-Gen 1. You won't have all that crap. Those are worlds I've generated. You'll have Navezgane. That's the dev-built world for the game. And it's a good world to start on. I like the random generated worlds because you don't know where everything's at. So it gives you a chance to explore more. It does to me. But if you're brand new to the game and you've never watched a video, Navezgane would be a great map to start on. And you don't have much load time if you use Navezgane or the pre-gen maps. And the option I always use, new random generated world. Of course, when you get there, it won't have all this other crap on it. And you can pick a name for it, and you can put anything down here for a seed. You could just put hello, if you could spell hello. Hello. And the world name will be the North Laxir Mountains. Okay, and you can change the world size. I always keep it on maximum because I love exploring, so I keep it large. Or you can go half the size. You won't have as much to explore, but if you don't ever travel far, that's all you need. And it also changes the name. And you can put any name you want at the top. That's just so you can find it in your list. So that takes care of how the worlds work. Let's get back over to Pre-Gen 3. Put our TUT at the top. Alright, over here, the first tab, General. Every time you start a game, you can add your friends if you want to. If you leave it on the default settings, it will be public with no password, and anybody can jump in your game, I believe. I never leave it on that. I always go to not listed. If you want your friends to play, you can put friends only, add a password, and they can join in your game when you're playing. but that's up to you. I play single player. I leave it not listed. I don't worry about max players because I'm on there by myself. Alright, our first basic tab. Difficulty settings. This is how hard the zombies are going to be to kill. And you can see if you scroll over, it'll tell you what it does. Scavenger, easiest setting designed for noobs. Scavenger is, to me, if you're going to put it on Scavenger, you might as well just turn them off. Adventurer, that's default. Adventurer's not bad. Nomad is a little harder. I normally play on Warrior. Anything past Warrior and the zombies become kind of bullet spongy, I don't like it. But that's your choice. Adventurer is what we're going to leave it on for the tutorial series. 24-hour cycle. 60 minutes. You can go all the way down to 10-minute days. You don't want to do that, especially if you're new. 60 minutes is pretty good for a new player. I normally do 90 minute just because I'm normally recording and it gives me extra time in the day to get stuff done, and I cut out the night. I end up with about a 20-30 minute video out of it. But you can go up to 120 minute days. But that's all up to you. Daylight length, how many hours the sun shines per day. By default, it's all the way up on 18. You can make it where there's more nighttime than daytime if you just keep turning it down. Blood moon frequency, that's how often you have a blood moon. I leave it on 7 days. That's the way the game was made, designed, so I leave it there. But you can go up. You only have a horde every 30 days. Or you can go down, disable it, or you can have one every day. You know, it really, they've added so many options to this game that you can play any way you want to play. Blood moon range. I leave it on 0 days so that on the 7th day I have a horde. You can change it to where any day within 2 days of 7 days, the horde could show up. It can be random. Blood moon warning. All this is the number at the top of your screen will turn to red on the blood moon day. I leave it on morning. Zombie speed. There's several different settings. Day speed, night speed, how fast the ferals are, how fast they are on the blood moon. I leave all that default, but if you're new, you might want to turn them all down to walk just till you get used to how the game works. Persistent profiles. Yeah, I guess I'll leave that off as well, and then I can change my character up. I've never even really looked at that. XP multiplier. I think when you first start, you should just leave it on 100%. I normally play on 125 or 150 because the game's a little slow in the beginning leveling up. Let's go to this third tab. Player block damage. You can move that up or down, which will make you break through things quicker. AI block damage. That's how fast the zombies can break through. You can move that up and down. Blood moon damage for the AI. You can make it where they can knock your base down a whole lot easier. Loot abundance. I leave that on 100%. But you know, if you're playing with somebody else, you might bump it up to 200%. Then if you find a schematic, you normally find 2, so you can give one to your partner. Loot respawn time. That's how long after you loot something that you can go back and loot it again. A lot of people disable that so that once they loot a town, they're done, they move to the next town. I leave mine on the default 30 days. I normally never get to reloot anything, but you know, that there's a chance I might go back and reloot something real late in the game. Drop on death, everything. normally if I'm playing, I normally play permadeath, so it doesn't matter. But if I'm playing a mod or something, I'll do backpack only. That way, if I die, everything that's down on my toolbar stays, so I still have my gun, my club, whatever, so I can get back to my backpack. This is the way I like to do it, but normally I'm permadeath, so I just leave it on the default nothing. Blood moon count, 8 enemies. If you leave it on this, you're not going to get a ton of zombies. I mean, you're not going to get a ton the first time anyway, because your game stage is going to be so low. But I've been playing with it turned up to 32, which my computer handles fairly well. You can go all the way up to 64. But for the tutorial, we're going to leave it there. Enemy spawning. So you can turn it off and there will be no zombies in your world. If you love building and you don't want to deal with the zombies, you just want a relaxing, casual game that you can build, this can be that game for you. You can turn zombies off and you can just loot empty buildings. You know, it's the end of the world. There's no zombies. You're just, you know, running around building things. You can do that. Airdrops. Airdrops are iffy. Sometimes they have great stuff in them. Sometimes they don't have anything worth getting. But it's default every 3 days. You can turn on cheat mode if, you know, you want to be a cheater. But, you know, that's your choice. Mark airdrops. By default, that's off. I do suggest anybody new turn that on, because that's going to be super handy to have. When it drops an airdrop, it'll stay on your map and you can just go get it when you want to. Our last tab is multiplayer. I'll leave all this default. I have before turned up the claim size so that my land claim will be bigger if I'm building a really big base. But I don't see any reason to change any of that. If you're wanting to play multiplayer, you can go through and, like I say, if you just hover over it, it'll tell you what it does. But anyways, that's all the basics for the menu. And that's going to be it for this episode. I'll try to make the next one shorter if I can. And I will see you guys in the next episode.